Hello. So today we're going to show you how to apply Sintra characters, facades, or anything else made out of Sintra material that you have to your wall. Now there's two ways to do this. There's a permanent fix, which is going to basically consist of a construction adhesive and basically just some double stick tape, maybe a few screws to hold it in place until the adhesive dries. And the other method is basically anchoring it, and we're going to show you how to do both. So first we'll go ahead and show you how to do the permanent fix with the construction adhesive. Now here we have a sample piece of Sintra, 1/2 inch, which most characters are printed on, sometimes center, but typically it's on 1/2 inch. And what I did here is I scuffed it real good with some sandpaper, some heavy duty 40, 60 grit, something in that neighborhood. You're going to want a sponge or a block. In this case I have a sanding sponge with sandpaper around it. And I'm just giving it a good scuff to give it some nice texture. And you're going to want to feel it. When it starts to get chewed up pretty good, you know that that adhesive is going to hold. Now I have some double stick here as my method to hold it temporarily. You can get 3M or any other brand. As long as it's a good strong double stick tape, that should do the job. So I have my double stick here to hold it temporarily. Now I'm not going to put construction adhesive on our wall here, but I am going to show you how I would apply it on another sample piece that has been scuffed as well. So I'll apply some of this and then let you have a look. You want to apply quite a bit, but you don't want to go crazy with it. Once the stuff is dry, it's got some pretty good bite. To give you an example of about how much you should use. And then basically, wherever you're going to want to put your character, your facade, or whatever it may be, before you do this, you'd obviously want to get your numbers or figure out exactly where it's going. But other than that, once you have your adhesive on the back and your tape to hold it until it dries, just put it in the right spot and it should hold. Now, if you were a little worried about that with a much larger piece, you could use a few screws. Now, always try to find a discrete dark area on the artwork if it's a black screw, or if it's a lighter artwork, you could even use a lighter screw. In this case, I'll show you a piece of artwork with some dark spots. That's what you're going to want to aim for, is a nice dark area like that for this example. And you can see how the screw just kind of goes away. This is what you do not want to do. You will clearly see that. So just aim for some camouflage areas that are going to hide your screw as good as possible. So in this case, it's all black. I'm going to use a black screw. Do one high and do one low. And that's going to hold just fine until that adhesive is dry. So the next method we're going to show you is the not so permanent fix, basically using anchors. This is a good way to go if you're going to have to potentially take this down or remove it a few years down the road. The construction adhesive is not going to be so forgiving. So as far as using any screws goes, that method stays the same. You want to try and make it camouflage and avoid anything sticking out. And in a situation like this, if you had to go in an area like that, you could simply paint the screw head before, put it in, and maybe even touch it up after, as long as you're careful. So in this situation, we have another piece of Sintra. It's black in this case, so we'll use black screws again. And if you had a much larger piece with more screws, you could get them all started just like this before you put it on the wall. And in this situation, we're going to go right here. So that's where I want it. I'm going to mark it. And again, if you got a much bigger piece, just get some people to help you out. Might be a little more difficult, but the concept is exactly the same. So now I know where I got to go. I got my gun. I'm basically going to hold this in place. And again, if you have some people with you for a bigger piece, you can get a few screws started just to keep it from slipping and have other people keep their hands on it, and then finish screwing all your other screws in like so. And what you're going to do is right after you get them all in, whether it's a couple or a bunch, you're going to back them right out. That's going to give you a marker where your anchors have to go. Next, you're going to widen the hole so the anchor can go in a little easier. Be nice and easy. You don't want to hit anything behind the wall. You're going to take your anchor and drive it in with the screwdriver. That one's in. And likewise over here. Okay. Now you're going to come back and basically finish everything. If you want, you can cheat the screws out just a little bit so you have some catch. And this will kind of help you feel for the anchor a little bit. It's a little more difficult when you got a lot of them, but still may help you out to do a couple of them like that. So my markings all look right. I feel that it's caught the anchors. I'm good to go. Now you want to tighten it to where it's pretty flush. You don't want to go crazy and countersink it because then you might do some damage to your artwork. So just nice and snug where it's holding. And there you go. Those are your two methods for applying cincher material, whether it's a character or whatever it is. And this has been another helpful tip from Wacky World Studios.